Hi, besties. Thanks for joining us again this week. I am so excited to have this guest on. She is a first-time guest on this show. And listen, y'all, she has so many great opinions. If you're not already following her on TikTok, what are you doing? You need to go follow Alix Cross. Thank you so much for joining, Alix.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here. I've seen your content and I always giggle to myself. I just feel like we speak the same language. So I'm very excited for today.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We tend to have like a lot of the same takes, and that's, I do like discussing with people who don't always have the same takes, but it's also fun to talk with people who are like-minded.
I agree. It's refreshing,
Yes.
It brings you back down to earth and you realize, no, I'm not that crazy,
Yeah, I need to hear that more often than I probably should. But yeah, y'all be sure and go follow her. I want to make sure I don't get the underscore in the wrong place. And you spell her name A-L-I-X, not A-L-E-X, A-L-I-X, C-R-O-S-S. And is there an underscore after Alix Cross?
Nope, just at the beginning.
Just at the beginning. Okay. Mm-hmm. Listen, the social media names, y'all, we got to do our best. It's like an underscore here and there. We just have to do it. It's the way it goes.
I tried to get the no underscore, but somebody in Ireland had that name, which is so rare. But
I'm going to write a letter.
Yes.
I'm writing them a letter. You're not the real Alix Cross. I know her. I feel like these Bravo celebrities just wake up some weeks and go, hey, we don't want any of our fans to sleep. Who needs sleep? They'll sleep when they're dead, because they gave us so much.
Oh my God, this week. I'm tired.
So tired. I know I'm just going to start off with this because it was literally like yesterday. Drew Sidora and Ralph Pittman from The Real Housewives of Atlanta are divorcing. Now, I'm just going to be straight up honest here. Yes, this separation was on my bingo card. I didn't know when it was going to show up, but the pettiness, y'all. First, it was reported that Ralph was the one who filed first. And then it came out, I don't know, maybe an hour or two later, that no, Drew is who filed first by 61 minutes. She had her papers.
I love that energy so much. That is what I would do. I'm just warning you, Bobby, if you're listening, that's what I would do.
Bobby's the husband. Okay,
yeah.
Oh, we're talking about the husband.
Yes.
I love it. I just, that, and we just really, we've come to expect this from someone like Drew and from Ralph. Drew isn't always on the right side of things, but I've said this before, which is, I don't know what it is about her. I just have this innate thing where I want to like her. And then she'll say something and I'm like, oh, okay. Like trying to tell Sonia that, you basically should just be a baby maker for your husband. Do that for your husband, like that type of stuff. And that's where I'm like, Drew, girl, like, no way. You cannot. You can't say things like this. And of course, as I'm talking, y'all, I forgot to put my my focus status on. And now I'm getting dings from my phone. Look at me. I'm a bad student. Okay. I know you saw this. Yes. Juan Dixon at the laundromat.
Oh my God. The man needs to just not be around women in public. Maybe forever, but at least for like 6 months. You just got to, I know it's his job, but like, come on.
Well, yeah, exactly. So, I did make a post on TikTok, and you know how TikTok is. Sometimes you're like, oh, this is like a nothing. And then, for my small page on TikTok, it blew up. And I was like, oh shit, what if it was like nothing? Well, we don't know. It's Juan Dixon. Can we really trust Juan Dixon? Like, no, we cannot trust him. Supposedly he was with like the assistant coach at, what's the name of the university?
Oh my gosh, Coppin State.
Coppin.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You are correct. Thank you. And I don't know. First I saw it was Bravo and Cocktails that, put it all out there, and they put a little heart over her face. But, if you're like a true Bravo fan, you go ahead and keep your Facebook to join the Facebook Bravo.
Yes.
And they put her full picture out there, and I don't know. It's weird. And some people are saying it was nothing. Some people are saying they were hugging and, being really affectionate. It's Juan Dixon. What do you think?
Listen, it's track record, right? Obviously all of our heads go to, okay, who is this and what are you doing with her? I'm going to give the woman the benefit of the doubt. and just
Oh, that's
assume
kind.
that she's not doing this. However, I did hear the same things and read the same things about them being touchy and stuff. And listen,
Yeah.
unless I have proof, it's hard to like make a call, but just based on what we've seen from Juan, I would not be surprised. So I just, honestly, I know everybody has feelings about Robin, but I just feel bad for her because it just like keeps coming. It just keeps coming.
It's at the point where it's like, do they have an arrangement or something? Like,
Right.
no self-respecting woman would just keep saying, okay, yeah, sure. Okay, yeah. Unless you have to know something deep down. And women's intuition is a real thing. I believe in that. And I mean, I cannot believe in my heart of hearts that Robin is that, ignorant to it. I
know she's a smart woman. Like she puts two and two together a lot. So I feel like how are you not in tune with this? So
yeah,
I'm sure they're having conversations at home, but I was not surprised by this story at all.
No, I don't think anyone was. I mean, hey, you know what? Maybe she forgot her roll of quarters and called him and said, hey, Juan, I need you to come help me because my coin purse has been lost. Maybe that instead of her wallet.
Sexier though, like a laundromat. Oh, like it's just like, come on. So that's the only reason why I'm like, maybe not, because really, but maybe
your dirty drawers.
So true.
So weird. I mean, and also, I'm sorry. This was one more thing. Like, how does the school not have a laundry room? Like, how? That's just so weird.
True. I feel like at the athletics department they do your laundry, right? That's a thing. You're right.
It is. Very weird. Congratulations to Stassi Schroeder Clark and Bo Clark because Stassi is pregnant again. So that's exciting.
It's wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful news. We're both like, yep.
Yeah. You know, I've encountered Bo a few times from when I was acting. I had auditioned. I can't remember if I've told this story on the podcast or not. So if I have, y'all just hit the fast forward 30 seconds button because I went in for it was like a audition for a Planet Fitness commercial. And, you know, it was for, who was it? Michael Stanford, the casting director. And that's who Bo works with. And we go in and Bo was running the session and half the room knew who Bo was. Half the room couldn't have cared less who anyone was. And you could see in just like the half circle of people that he brought in that group, like exactly who knew who he was. And the girl I got paired up with, God bless her soul, there was one line you had to say. One line. One person walks in and the other person just says, welcome to Planet Fitness. That is all you. And God bless her. She goes, welcome to Fitness Planet. And Bo was like, oh my God.
Oh no. Yeah, that's unsalvageable. I'm sorry. I hope she's made it since, you know.
I do too.
That is not going to get you the part. Okay? I even know that. So. Oh man.
Yeah.
I feel like it was nice. I feel like he must have been nice.
He was nice. He wasn't like, I mean, he was working. So it was one of those things where I think he just was like, yes, I'm on a reality show with at that time, my girlfriend. Do not talk to me about my girlfriend.
Yeah. He's heard it enough.
Mean, yeah, I would imagine. I mean, he was just professional for the most part. And yeah, I mean, they're all typically so sick of being around actors when we come in droves auditioning. They're like, oh God, another one. Okay, so there's a lot of Potomac stuff happening. Lot. I should have grouped it all together. Michael Darby, Gollum himself, is suing Candace Dillard Bassett for $2 million for defamation. And this was, at first I was like, what is this about? I completely forgot that, I guess, what was it, like the second or third episode when they were at the winery and she said, your husband, to Ashley, leaves you at home to go over to blank, because they bleeped out the guy's name, house, and to suck his. And so I guess he sent her a cease and desist letter and she didn't retract the statement. Right. Really, Michael, is this the worst thing anyone's ever said about you?
No, it's not. Okay. I have so many thoughts about this. The house is right. Ashley's house is worth $2 million. So that's not lost on me, right? Not lost on me.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, granted, obviously they're not connected, but my shady ass is like,
Be shady,
and then I feel like for all the things everyone has said about him, like this is what he goes after. So it's clearly just like I mean, this is tit for tat, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
are we really doing this? I just feel like Michael Darby needs to just stop, go away, just go away. And it made me think, and I think someone commented on, I saw it on, you know, one of the, it might have been Queens of Bravo. Someone had said in the comments that they're basically like challenging what Michael's just doing in general. They're like, what is this? Like, what are you trying to do? It just makes him look, just honestly, it just looks stupid in my opinion. I mean, like, what are you doing? Also,
it's a waste of money.
Candace of all people. Like,
yeah,
really?
that's what I was thinking too. Like, every single person on that show has said something about you that was unsavory, and you're going after Candace for saying this one thing. It's very, very odd. Maybe because he's like, she's the only one who actually has money.
Oh, I mean, maybe. And also someone had mentioned like Ashley just at the reunion, how she was very like making so many points about how Michael is a good father and this and that. Was one of their conversations with Michael saying, I'll come after you as if, you know, if you don't take those things back? Not lost on me. So I just, ew. This is what I have to say. Ew.
Yeah. Because I noticed that as well. I was like, why is she going so... I didn't really take anything she said on the show before the reunion to be like, oh, she's saying he's a bad father. It's just kind of a given because it's Michael Darby.
Right. I mean, yes, we can put that together, Ashley. But I just thought it was very interesting. And knowing this happened, I'm like, I wonder what the conversations were heading into the reunion.
Yeah, agreed. Because then sticking with Potomac, oh my God, the messiness between Mia, G, Peter, Wendy, I could not, like, Candace was, I feel like all of us when part 2 of the reunion, when Mia says, oh yeah, well you were, to Wendy, I should clarify, you're just mad because you and Peter were hooking up. You gave him the cookie or whatever she said.
God, I know. That was a great impression, by the way. I felt Mia here. Okay.
Thank you. She, you know, embodied my soul for a minute, and it was like, I'm gonna shake her back off. I mean, Candace was like all of us, I feel like in that moment, really? You expect us to believe that Wendy would step out on Eddie with Patricia Thomas? No.
No.
That adds up as much as her math as a CEO. It did not. No math.
So true. Snaps to that. I just feel like Candace was all of us the entire reunion, just the entire reunions thus far. Everything she's saying, I'm like, yep.
But she definitely says it better than I would.
Oh, yeah. She's so fast. I'm like, damn, I wish I had that skill. I am not that fast.
No. And the words are always just minced so perfectly.
Ooh, yes.
And like, I call her the Shakespeare of shade. And it's because I find that she has like this, because obviously she's so musically gifted, but she has this rhythm and it's almost like she's doing a poem or like some slam poetry reading.
It's so true. It's like you're kind of intoxicated every time she speaks. You're like, okay, okay.
I just love her.
I'm with you.
I do. So I mean, like it wasn't the back and forth between all of it on Instagram. I could go into it more, but really the best way to put it is that G gets on, or Gordon, I should say, gets on Mia's Instagram, makes a video saying, oh, you know, guess we weren't all that close because Peter went on Instagram and made a video saying we're not that close. And then Peter comes back again saying, oh, I love it when my friends check me. I don't know who he was talking about, to be honest, in that video. And then Mia, in one of the comments, essentially someone calls her out like, you know, that wasn't true, saying that Peter and Wendy hooked up. And she's like, well, why is it okay for her to say that Gordon was hooking up with other men? Wendy never said that in that fight. Not once. I never heard her insinuate that them, you know, having their threesomes were with other men. It was never anything but implied that it was Gordon, Mia, and another woman when it happened.
Exactly. I mean, Wendy, bless her heart, is like off at the White House while this is all happening. It's just like, what are you doing? Like, just stop. Wendy's like I don't know. She's with who was she with, the first lady? I didn't see, but I knew she was at the White House. And I'm just sitting here like, they're doing this at home. and you're at the White House. Like, let's just not, you know?
It's almost apples and oranges at this point.
Yes.
It is so far removed. Oh my gosh. And then this was really exciting to see. Mercedes Javid from Shaws of Sunset. I hope I pronounced her last name correctly. Y'all, I know y'all will hit me up if I did not. Going back to her real estate roots, and she joined Mauricio Umansky's team over at the agency. How awesome would she be on?
Are you kidding me? She's made for this. And like, I posted about it too. I'm like, listen, I did not expect this at all, but I'm not mad. I did say I'd only watch The Agency season 2 if she was on it, though, because the first season was kind of flop. But I love this. Like, I just want the best for her. And I just know that her mom, Vita, is sitting there like, did you meet Mo? You know, like, tell me all about Mo. I just, I'm glad for her. Like, I feel like she needed something that was just her own, that she could just prove to everybody, like, shut up. To all
exactly.
I love her. I have a soft spot.
You know, I have a soft spot for most of the Shaws of Sunset in general, because I do not feel that they deserve to be canceled. Like,
me neither. They needed a shake up for sure, but they couldn't afford without Mike, right? Like, that's weird. Obviously, he was in the whole. I think they canceled right after his charges, right? But I don't know.
Yeah, but it's like if we canceled every Bravo.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, like, if we canceled every Bravo show because someone got arrested.
Yeah, I mean, there would be no shows left. You're right. Valid point.
I mean, yeah, because they did let Gina Kirschenheimer's ex-husband, Matt, come on Orange County and show his face after he had been charged with the domestic abuse violence or charges. Crazy. Yes. So it's kind of weird. It feels like kind of not fair if you ask me.
If you think about it. But I don't know. Maybe their ratings were low. I loved that show. True. Maybe we were the last ones watching it, I guess.
We were on the last front there.
Yes.
I feel the exact same way about them. I want to see them all back in some capacity. Okay. So is there any Bravo news that I skipped that you know of? I feel like so much.
I think those are like the hot things this week. It's been. I mean, I know like Summer House has been back and forth between Danielle and why am I brain farting?
Lindsay.
Yes. But I mean, I guess we can wait for that for another day. But that's really it. I feel like the whole Potomac world is like blowing up. So it's very
it has been nonstop. So why don't we take a quick break and then we're going to jump into the Real Housewives of New Jersey. And I am so excited about that. Okay. Be right back, friends. And we are back to cover New Jersey. Now, on the break, Alix was asking me, did you like Jersey this week? And I wanted to wait to answer because, okay, I know my friends here are aware that I am not a Trey hugger, but I don't know if like my closest friends who are Bravo fans, they are all Trey huggers. And I'm like, are they influencing me, or am I seeing some points here where I'm like, the Gorgas are not who I thought they were? I'm having a hard time.
Okay.
I'm coming around.
Okay.
Are you, I don't feel that you're necessarily a Trey hugger.
I am down the middle. I know that pisses people off, but I feel like because I've just watched this, and I've said this before, but New Jersey was like my gateway drug to the Housewives entire world. So I've been watching it since I was like, I don't know what, like 16, 17. And
I don't want to talk about how old I was.
No, but like, I mean, yes, 16, 17. And I've just seen them both do things wrong. And I feel like I try to be very level-headed and not listen to all the like social media noise and really just go off the show. But you can't ignore social media now. For me, today I do not pick sides. I pick like the way they've reacted, the way that they approach things. Call it growth, call it whatever. I just don't, I cannot sit here and say I'm blindly loyal to either. I think they both have done things that are ridiculous, and I just call it like you see it.
Yeah, agreed. Because I truly don't know that there are many other Housewives franchises that are so polarizing as New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I see all the other content creators will be like, you Jersey fans are unhinged. Get away.
Yeah,
I'm like,
we are. Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm. Because Jersey is that good. Like we had to pay our dues with the time that it was not good when we had those twins
Oh,
on and
yeah.
that Amber girl and her ridiculous husband. But I am like so loving our newbies. I know I have notes to ask how you're feeling, but I feel like this is just, it is revamped and it's giving everything we need to keep this franchise going. Um, first, now y'all know I don't like to talk about people's looks, but this, you gotta admit, this is, it did crack me up because last week I talked with Jesse about this, how we were like, does John Fuda's beard come off the way like a Ken doll's does with like maybe a little rub of acetone? What happened to his beard after boys' night?
I know. I listen. Art is subjective, okay? To him, it is what it is. I listen. If it works for Rachel, that's what really should matter. I don't get it.
Yeah.
The whole thing is worrisome. I'm worried if it rains outside, things like that. He's sweating, right? There's a lot of different ways this could go wrong. Yes, I'm with you. I also laughed.
Yeah. I hope we don't end up with a scene of it running down his face.
I hope we do. And then you can go back to this moment and say, see, told you.
Callback. I love a good callback moment. I really do. Okay. So the podcast issue that I don't know, man, the Gorgas really have there's always something happening on their podcast lately that I'm noticing that something's being said. Listen, they're getting the advertisers in, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So Melissa and Joe Gorgo were talking on there, and Melissa essentially says the Teresa going to prison show was able to be made because Joe Giudice needed someone to film with, and here we were, and he had someone to bounce off of and talk to about it. This whole thing where she's saying that they did not say that they put food on their table, they put food on the table. Does that even matter? Is it not? Is it still the same thing to you? Or
I feel like I know what Melissa's trying to do, right? She's saying that we weren't literally the ones supporting you. She has to say that because clearly that's the reality, right?
Yeah.
We've heard the girls speak up, and she needs to make sure that it's very clear what she's saying. I think that she definitely said it in a very I don't think she thought it through. I think it was very like a comment that she just said off the cuff. I understand, but I just feel like why? Why are we saying these things? Like, why can't we just not? Like, what would that do? I mean, obviously it would make less people listen, but I just feel like, what is this doing? It's so damaging. Now you're talking about a time when the girls were girls. Like, it's just little. And I just feel like that's just kind of ugly. And even if you mean something else, it's like they get very upset in the show about semantics. And it's like you need to be very thoughtful of the way you say things. And it's not happening. And I think Melissa's over it. Like, she's so over it that she's just talking. And listen, I respect her for getting to that place, but it's also just like, there is more than just you three involved in this. There's so many other people involved in this, and you got to be careful. I get what she's saying. I understand what she's trying to say, but I do not believe that they were the only ones helping the family. I mean,
no, I agree. I don't believe that they were the only ones helping the family either. You know, I don't know. I just like, it was so long ago that why are they still talking about it? Why are they still bringing up like one of the more painful times in that part of their family's lives? And this was when technically they were not on terrible terms. Right. They weren't on great terms.
Right.
I
have to say, you just made me think of something. And I'm listening to Melissa a lot lately. Obviously, she's like on every circuit possible. But she keeps saying when Teresa was in prison. Like, we know where she was. Every time you say it, it's like, it's painful. And it's just like, she just says it I feel like there's something behind that. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is, but it's not lost on me. And I'm sitting there like, girl, you could just say she's away. Like she'll say, when Melissa was away, oh God, when Teresa was away
Yeah.
in prison, it's like, we know. Like,
And we know, yeah. That was a thing for
ever.
Teresa not to say that she was in prison. Like that was a big
Yes.
hang up, excuse me, for her to say that she went away
Yes.
for
So
both
it's
her
like,
and Joe.
exactly. So I'm just like, you know that this is going to hurt her. And like,
That's a good
it's
point.
just mean. I don't know. That's where I'm like, I can't be on either side. They both do stupid shit, in my opinion.
Yeah, they do. And listen, we're allowed to cuss on this podcast. If you feel so inclined, please
it's
do.
we're moms, you know. I like forget sometimes.
Well,
like, can you hear me?
oh, that's true. Yeah, mine isn't talking yet, but I'm. If he starts running around saying shit,
yeah,
I'm gonna be like, that was my fault, 1000%. Okay. Comparing not being invited to a Sweet 16. So this where Teresa and Louie are comparing the fact that Joe and Melissa did not invite Louie's family to Antonia's Sweet 16 and using that to compare what that Joe and Melissa are upset that Teresa and Louie did not invite Melissa's family to their wedding. That is not the same thing.
No.
It is weird. Like, you may as well have invited Louie's family. It's not like I would think a Sweet 16 could be less expensive than a wedding invite, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Teresa and Louie are inviting like Chanel Ion the day before the wedding and stuff. Like, they have random ass people there that they barely even knew. And I don't know, man. It is such a weird comparison.
I was sitting there, like, I'm from New York, and like, I'm very aware of the Italian wedding culture. I also had an Italian wedding, so I get it. I also understand Sweet 16 culture over here. It's a little crazy. Yeah. However, I would say that a bat mitzvah or a bar mitzvah or a baptism falls more in the world of wedding. Now, I feel like a Sweet 16, please. But yes, we know it was like a big event. She could have like invited them, whatever. But were they that close? No, at that time, even less, right? Mm-hmm. But I had made a little video like about this, and someone said something that was so funny, and I wish I had their name, but they basically said, well, this is her second wedding, so like, does it even matter? And I'm like, or like, maybe it is, maybe she has a point. And it had me dead because fair, but this is ridiculous, in my opinion. I think they are not the same. I think Teresa's reaching with this. Like, come on, please.
I agree. I think at this point, what I also think is that there's probably more that has happened like off camera that we just genuinely don't know about, that maybe Teresa can't bring up for whatever reason. And I think she's finding any little stray hair, straw, anything she can grasp at. And, Joe Gorga and Teresa have been pretty terrible to each other. Like, genuinely. Melissa, that's her husband. She's following suit, know?
I don't know. I think here's the thing. I don't think that her sisters had to be invited. Like, I really don't. It's very obvious that her sisters back Melissa. Like, that's fine. But I feel like they should have extended the invite to the mom. Like, I just feel that's like the right thing to do. I don't know.
That's actually
even
a really
if it's
good point.
Like, she doesn't have to go, she doesn't have to show up, but like, give her a invite plus one, whatever. I think that would have just like that would have been more digestible for Joe and Melissa, I think, and they wouldn't be as mad about it. But
I think it I agree. I think that's actually a very good point, that they should have just gone ahead and invited Melissa's mother. What I still think they would have found issue with her not inviting the sisters, but I think they would have had less of a leg to stand on about it, because then you invite the sisters, that means you have to invite their significant others. And then what are you going to invite their kids? Like, I can get that, because anyone who's ever had a wedding that was, not 10 people, it's like you start realizing, oh my God, but then you have to include this person and that person and this person and that person. I do get that. And at the same time though, like, I remember when I was getting married, nothing matters now. I did invite my brothers-in-laws. They couldn't come because they were watching my nephew, but it was like I'd spent time around them and I wanted them to feel included.
Yeah.
Now, I am not a famous person like Teresa.
Yeah.
I didn't have a 200 person guest list that could have grown to 500 if I wanted it to. I don't know that many people. But the point being is like, I don't know. A lot of times people don't go, but I don't know.
Listen,
It's Teresa's wedding. They probably would all
yeah,
show up.
I get the Italian American wedding. Like that is where I come from. It's what I had. I
Yeah.
understand the importance of and what it means to have family at these weddings. However, I think it's 2023. And if there's someone that you don't like and they don't, serve your relationship in any way of like, they don't need to be at the wedding.
I
However,
agree.
I think there's ways around it. And I think that just inviting the mother would have said a lot without
Agreed.
being so like feeling like it was so hurtful.
Yeah.
So that's where
No, I think
that's where I
that's
stand.
a really astute point that I hadn't even thought of. I think that would have been a great solution and something maybe her wedding planner should have helped her come up with.
Yeah, please.
That's like,
Is that
they're
Joe,
used to that.
or that was Louis' assistant. I don't even know who the wedding planner was. I feel like that's
Right.
changed.
A little odd. Okay. So this so many times, like Teresa just so Teresa decides she's gonna call her brother Joe. I want to make peace. And the way the phone call went, at the beginning, I thought I was gonna fall over. I was laughing so hard
It was so
because
bad.
she literally, Louis has written down on a notebook in front of her, nothing except want to make peace. And so Teresa calls, I want to make peace. And then Joe just says, yeah, make peace.
I know.
We make peace. We made peace. And it was just like,
what is this? What did this do? It did nothing.
it was like such a caveman conversation.
Yes. Yes.
Like, you two need to have a more in-depth conversation.
Oh my God. I was laughing, but I was also like, I don't know if you've heard some of my thoughts on Louis, but I'm like at this place where
please share them here so that people know. Because also, I want to say, whenever I have guests on, my friends, I am very particular about who I ask on. I like people who are very opinionated, who are not afraid to speak up, and who have interesting opinions and not just like going with the flow type of thing. So if you are interested in what Alix has to say, you need to go check out her videos on TikTok, because if you like listening to me, you will like listening to her. I just want to tell you that. So
thank you.
Now, I'm sorry for interrupting. Please continue with your thoughts on Louis.
My thoughts on Louis, like, listen, I want Teresa to find happiness and love. Like, yes, I'm not an evil human being. I want that for her. However, I feel like Louis there's something off. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just the way he's being edited. I don't know. But he feels like he's orchestrating everything. Like, why? I understand you want like to be this bridge and this beacon of like hope for your wife and things like that. But there's so much history here. There's so much like damage that's been done. This isn't the way. Like, and what point I was making is that Louis keeps using events as like the moment where they can reconnect and get together. True. Whether they're small or big. He's like, this is coming up, invite them. But when you're hosting an event, like when I was talking about the roller rink thing and how they were upset they didn't talk to each other, they're like, Melissa and Joe were hosting an event. It's hard to talk to anyone when you're hosting an event. This housewarming thing, yes, they could have showed up for 5 minutes, but like they're not going to talk there. And right. It's just, I feel like, why is Louis like pushing that to be how they reconnect? And somebody had called out that Louis' mom's a therapist to me. And that's why he's so like articulate in the way, or careful, maybe is the word. That's in the way that he like encourages Teresa to talk to Joe. But he plays so many different sides. I feel like whoever he's talking to, he's agreeing with or like gassing up in a positive way, and also just dropping like little, like nuggets of bombs. Like it's just I don't get it, and I'm struggling because I really feel like this phone call, Teresa wasn't ready to have that phone call at all. Like she just looked uncomfortable. She was nervous. Like I think she was doing it half for the cameras, half for Louis, not for her. And there's just something about the way Louis is involved in a lot And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
bro, just let it happen. Or if
Yeah.
you're so encouraging, go to coffee, take it off camera, go
Invite
to
them over to your
family
home.
therapy. Like family
Mm-hmm.
therapy would be great for this situation.
Of course, I
Um,
remember when they tried the family therapy, I'm pretty sure it ended with
yeah.
Gorga grabbing Joe Judice by the balls,
Yes.
wrestling. Wasn't that like a whole
Yes,
thing?
that was a thing, but you know
Mm,
what? It's
it's
2023.
we've
Teresa's
moved
very
on.
namaste. I'm hopeful that I just feel like that's the answer. Not like, let's invite them to all these events so they can show up for 5 minutes. We don't speak and it feels fake. I
Yeah, and
just,
everyone gets to play a martyr because it's like on a bigger public
yes,
platform. No,
and everyone's
I'm in
watching.
agreement with you.
So I
Yeah,
know.
I think there is something about Louis that is disingenuous. That I feel the same way. While I'm not a tray hugger, I've been watching her since I was, whatever age, as well. And so I do want that for her. I've always thought, Joe Judice was a really terrible husband.
Yes.
And I still don't get why we're still, I mean, listen, it's those girls' dad. I get it. They're going to look at their dad in a different way. But I cannot stand when anyone is like, oh, but Joe Judice, that. No, no.
Who
Joe
says
Judice
that?
was,
Oh my God,
I feel
send
like
them my
people for
way. I'm
whatever,
like, mm-mm.
no, he was a terrible person. And,
Please.
he chose to, he could not stay in, I'm not even gonna, okay, that's not the point. The point
We get
being,
heated, guys. It's a
yes,
very passionate franchise.
passionate as, I mean, listen, because, I also feel that because Louis, and listen to me speaking in therapized terms, I feel
Mhm.
that Louis, because he grew up so therapized by his own mother being a therapist, it's you can constantly see that second wheel turning in his head
Mhm.
of like, this is how I'm supposed to talk to someone. And that may not totally be his fault, mind you, but that is how you can just see there are just two different wheels turning. And oh my gosh, I'm going
It's like
opposite ways.
so
I didn't know I could do that.
controlled though. Like it's so controlled. And I'm like, there's something like, come on.
That's why he's purple all the time, because he is ready to explode.
Mm.
Guys,
Mm.
you cannot hold in emotions. You will implode
Yep.
and
Yep.
explode. Men, women alike, children as well. You got to release them in a healthy way. Otherwise, you turn into a purple man like Louis.
That's
There's
great.
your new
Honestly,
old
that
wives' tale.
quote, I just want that quote forever. You turn into a
Yeah.
purple man like Louis.
Yeah.
So great.
Start telling our kids that, just like it's illegal to turn the light on in the car at night. And you make that face, it'll stick that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really feel like the call that they had, there wasn't a resolution because there wasn't going to be.
No.
Okay. Oh, Dolores's mom comes over to her house. Not a lot happened here, but her mom is hysterical, and I just forgot her mom's name. Oh, I know that she told Frankie,
Yes.
your nanny's coming over. And best day ever. And it was just so cute.
I know. I resonated with like that whole moment because my dad is Italian and he has ice cream before dinner sometimes. And I was just like, I get it. You gotta like let him, he's lived a life.
Live.
Let him
Live
enjoy
your
and
life.
live. That's how I feel.
Well,
So.
speaking on that, when Frankie's like, so, how's the diet going to his grandmother? And she's so, well, I had cake for breakfast today. And and Dolores is like, Mom. And she's like, well, I hadn't had cake all week.
I know. It was like,
I want to live a life where, I'm like, I want to live a life where it's unusual that I didn't have at least a piece of cake all week.
I know. I feel like she's living her best life in her own
Let
way.
her.
I appreciate that.
Just let her. She's so cute.
I will say during that moment, though, I thought it was really kind of interesting that Frank brought up the two, Frank Jr. brought up Frank Sr. and Polly, and how, obviously they're not getting along. Like, what are your thoughts on that? I wonder from their perspective, it must be really weird. I feel like the way that Frank Sr. is friends with Dolores' ex, who shall not be named because we just don't like him anymore.
No.
The way that they're still friends is weird. But I think it was interesting that Dolores said, like, we are also used to this dynamic because it's been this way for so long that even Frank Jr. doesn't see how it's bizarre. Like, it is bizarre.
It is.
Yes.
especially knowing what we have picked up about Frank Sr. over the years. The things Dolores has said, they are alarming. And it's hard because I like Frank Sr. a lot, and I think a lot of us do. And I hate to keep saying, oh, I talked about this then and talked about this at that point. But, when Jesse and I were talking about Frank last week and how it's like all of our feminist ideals, for whatever reason, tend to go out the window when we're, like seeing Frank Sr., because it's like, God, not only has she said that he was like, it sounds like a lot of emotional abuse from getting mad at Gabby when she was little, not picking up her toys and things like that. And she even says on this episode, Frank was a shitty husband. She says that flat out.
I think that was important for her to like really just make it clear that they are not together because they did not work well together.
And he cheated on her.
He cheated on her. And I think the roid rage came out. He was a big bodybuilder. Like, I do not doubt that at all. And I feel like she is making a point this season to make it clear why they are not together. And I appreciate it.
Good for her. Good for her. And you know what? It's time for Dolores to get her happy ending as well.
Yes.
Oh, why'd I say happy ending? I mean fairy tale.
I know.
ending.
You said that and I giggled to myself, but I love it.
I'm like, Caitlin, why do you think she deserves both? Okay, I'll say it. Oh my God. All right. So this dinner with Bill and Jennifer Aiden, it seems like I can only imagine how difficult it is for them to get out of that house between his work schedule and 5 children. That is a lot. And I've been warming up to Jennifer a little bit. I still think, you know what? I bet she would kind of agree with me that she can be such a raging asshole sometimes that I'm like, God, girl. But if I were going home to someone who really does not have, and this is something I've been in that relationship where, that I wasn't going in at anyone the way Jennifer does, but not having your spouse's back, to me, that is such a huge red flag, because that shows how you argue at home. That shows that, you're not getting any of the validation on your own feelings, and vice versa if you both don't have each other's back. But it sounds like Jennifer has had Bill's back for years, and she has done nothing but praise the ground he just walks and spits on. And, as they're kind of really going in it, I know a lot of people are rumbling online that they think, and, what do the trolls online know? But at the same time, we all have seen this play out 500 million times on Housewives. They, as in some of the collective, are thinking maybe they are headed for the D word. I hope not. What are your thoughts?
I feel, well, I'm going to make this personal because I have a husband who works clinically, and I just feel like seeing the way Bill kind of responds and like yes, no, logical is something that I've seen as like, it's just their way of actually functioning at work, and it comes home. And I have other friends who their spouses work clinically, and we all kind of like commiserate. Like sometimes it's just like, be a little bit more emotional,
Think with your heart a little more.
Yes. And it's like, but I feel like truly these are two people that, I mean, a lot of what is coming out with Jennifer right now, and you said the word, and that's what comes to mind, is like her need for validation, whether it's with the girls or the other women, the other housewives. Like she's going and talking about people behind their backs to kind of feel like, you feel what I feel, right? And there's a lot of that's missing, I feel like, with her relationship with Bill right now. And to your point, when your partner's not backing you up when you feel like they should be, or in the way you feel like they should be, that is going to be a form of communication breakdown. I feel like they really should be in couples counseling, because I feel like they both want the same thing. I think their way of like communicating with each other is just not working anymore.
Yeah.
And it's not working anymore because Jen now just has seen the entire public reaction to what happened in their marriage. And she's like, no, I'm right in the way I was feeling. And it's just like, it's carrying through present day, and she needs to work through those feelings that she pushed down for so long.
Yeah.
It's just coming through. I don't think Bill really ever sat down and like listened to what Jennifer needs, like emotionally what she needs. And I think if they had that conversation and really like dug into it a little bit more, maybe it would right the ship. But I hear what she's saying. Like, she needs someone to just gas her up. And you know what? At home, Bill, tell Jen what you really feel, how people, you know, maybe your reactions should be like handled in a different way. I just feel like a lot of what he says in front of the group should be behind a closed door, because I think it's constructive, and your partner should also be constructive. But the way it's being delivered, it doesn't come off as constructive. It comes off as like not supportive.
Right. And that's the thing is, you know, like I said, I've been there in that relationship where I'm like, do you even hear that? Why are you more worried about their feelings than mine right now?
Mm-hmm.
And it ends up becoming, I feel like when you're in that moment and you're supposed to have a partner and they're supposed to have your back, you know, it's not like I'm getting in public fights all the time, but if someone says something shitty or something and you end up, I feel like digging in more and getting more upset when you feel like there's that person that should be saying, hey, okay, well, you know, F you too, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say that to my wife.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it makes you dig in so much more, and it kind of makes you feel a little crazy.
Yes.
And I think that's where Jennifer is starting to also feel that way. And that's such a great point, that she is seeking that validation. And that does kind of explain more that's a great theory on how it could explain more of why she is, you know, seeking out these women that she barely knows to talk about things. That why are you, you know, she's just trying to get people on her side, because yes, Teresa's on her side, but Teresa has Louis on her side. He's one of those guys that's going to have his wife's back.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just kind of feel like having Teresa on your side, yes, that's going to happen. But right now, Teresa is not concerned about Jen's battles. She's getting married. She's thinking about that. She's already fighting the battle with Melissa and Joe. And so she's not as concerned with, okay, I got Jennifer's back. Although she does quite a bit. Teresa's, you know, so, you know, because also when Bill is saying, yeah, I'm trying to diffuse the situation when it's happening, and Jen's saying, for who? Who are you trying to diffuse the situation for? And the thing is, when your wife is that, you know, for lack of a better term, again, gassed up about something, you're not going to help by getting like her to calm down. Right. And I know that's like a hard thing.
Calm down, right? Those are trigger
oh my God
words for any partner.
Listen, you may as well try baptizing a cat, because that's how well that word is going to go over with me, or that phrase is. No, I hate that phrase. It's yeah. This is not a I don't know, therapy podcast, but my God,
therapy right now. It's good.
Yeah, there are ways to say, I see you're feeling very upset. What can we do together to bring this to a different level? That is making it a we problem instead of a you problem is really what I think Bill needs to do.
I think we're saying the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Jen Fessler and Rachel Fuda go to lunch. When Rachel said in confessional, Jen Fessler, I love that bitch. I was like, you know what? Me too. And now I love you for the way you just said that. Because I wasn't sold on Rachel at first. I can't get over how old she is.
I know. Problem. She's my age.
Oh my God, you young bitches.
Yeah. I mean, my thoughts on them is like, really, here's my thing. I think Jen Fessler's funny. I'm not knocking it, whatever. She's a shitster, in my opinion, too. I can see it happening. Yeah. But I just feel like Jen is great, but I feel like I know a lot of Jens, and it's like, I just don't know. I'm just waiting. Like, she has funny remarks and comments. I'm not knocking them. I'm just not like understanding. And I also just think about who housewives are. And I know she's only a friend of now. Yeah. But I just can't see her as like a housewife. I think she's got too many level-headed opinions, to be honest, to really get to that.
You're not deranged enough.
Yeah. Like, I think she's too, I don't know, very Dolores-esque, but Dolores is in a league of her own, so I don't know. But yeah, listen, I think Rachel's like Rachel to me was refreshing. Obviously, to your point, her age like shook me to the core. When I saw she was 31, I almost like threw up because when you watch it for so long, you're like, oh, they'll never, like I'll never
They're older
reach
than me.
that. And it's like, what the like she's my age. And then I made a video, and I just have to say this because it's hysterical. And the people who have heard this like agree with me. Did you watch Jerseylicious ever?
Oh my God, of course I watched Jerseylicious. Are you
So
kidding me?
I thought Olivia, remember Olivia? Like
Yeah.
I thought that was Rachel when like things were. I was watching the first episode and I'm like, why
Oh,
does
I
she
could
look
see
so
how you
familiar?
thought that.
She just sounds like someone I know, and then I just realized it's that. Like I just thought that was her. It's not her.
Whatever.
I got people confused, but it's not her.
No, I could see that you thought that, like, if you only got like a quick clip of it,
Yeah, I don't
because I
know.
mean, whatever happened to Olivia?
I don't know. I don't know. That whole show was just a gift. But I
It
really
was.
feel like they are both like good. I'm waiting. I think Rachel's definitely not afraid to speak up, which is good.
Yeah.
But I'm like still waiting. I think you
Yeah.
need like 6 episodes is usually like for me a
When we
good
get.
gauge.
Yeah. I think Jen Fessler, while if she doesn't become full time, I think she's filling the void that Margaret used to have it
Right.
be on the show. Margaret used to be a bit more of a comic relief, but the longer she's been full time, the more it's become that she has more drama surrounding her and less of the comments that are as funny, and they are more like loaded, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And Jen, because she's not been as invested for as long as Margaret has, I feel like we need that little comic relief in there, and she fits in the world really well. But I do agree, like Jen Fessler is not cuckoo. Like she's a normal human being.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we need the deranged people on here. But I still I like seeing her on my TV. I like her a lot. But what's interesting too at this, of course, also she cracked me up when she was Rachel wanted to share the margarita pizza because obviously she's like, I'm not going to have that entire thing of carbs by myself. And Jen's like, oh no, I'm not into that. No, I'm eating my entire pizza by myself. Thank
I
you very
love
much.
that. I mean, yes, she's owning her truth, and I also would want my own pizza, so I get it.
Girl, yes. So they both were revealing to each other. Jen Aiden calls Rachel after the Mutz party and says, oh, I know I got a bad nose job, and how do you feel about yours? And I mean, it's like, oh my God, foot and mouth immediately. And then she starts talking shit on Dolores. And I'm still like, it's weird to me how, okay, so Rachel has known, I don't know how long Dolores and Frank have been divorced. I should say that. Seems like a while.
Mm-hmm.
But if Rachel knew his girlfriend, Brittany, for like 10 years, and this was even, and she knew Frank at the same time, the timelines I'm a little curious about where those timelines are. I could be wrong. But when, the Jen starts, I guess, talking shit on Dolores to Rachel, Rachel's like, I'm not having that. This is not what I'm going to be a part of. And what cracked me up is then when Jen Fessler is like, okay, well, you know what she called me?
Oh, no, I know. I loved that. Because they were both like keeping it. I think that it was nice to show that they trusted each other a little bit and opened up.
Yeah, I like that too. That's a good point as well. And so, yeah, Jen was saying to Jen Fessler, do you have any therapist recommendations? And then I guess the words are getting minced again here where it's like, did Jennifer say that Margaret was jealous of her? Or later we find out Jen Aiden says, no, I said she was threatened by me. It feels very Camille
Yes. I mean, like
versus Taylor Armstrong-esque.
It is Jennifer Foot and Mouth Aiden. Like, I love her, but you can't sometimes because it's like, girl, what are you doing? Like, you cannot help yourself. And this goes back to the point of validation. I think she calls people, like, first of all, she spends a lot of time on the phone. I like half of her storylines are like Jen called somebody and said something, but I just feel like she is just doing herself a disservice. It's like, not everyone has to feel the same way you feel on everything. And maybe if you just kept the thoughts to yourself, you wouldn't be in these messy situations like all the time. but she
Yeah.
just can't help herself. She's just a yenta, you know?
Yeah, truly though, because she is constantly playing a game of telephone. Is really how she.
It's crazy. Like somebody needs to put a bug in her phone, and then we could just
Yeah,
listen to the audio back. It's
really, that's
crazy.
all we need. That's really all we need. So, the love bubble party. Oh, Teresa, she's gonna ride this love bubble pineapple wave until we all die. Okay, first thing, I don't know if I'm crazy. I did not realize Melania was only 15. I thought she was older than Gabriella, maybe because she's had more screen time.
Maybe.
I cannot believe these babies are growing up.
I know. It's kind of trippy, honestly. It's weird. It's just weird, but I mean, it's nice to see them grow up.
Yeah,
And like,
it
I hate that they're back and only talking about the drama though. I'd love to just know what's up. How you doing?
Yeah.
How you doing in school? Like, I don't need to know that you're really upset with your aunt and uncle. Like, we know, and it just gets really dicey.
Very aware. Do you think Joe Gorga should have just gone to the party, or do you think it was a wise decision to not go?
I don't think he can win. Like, really, I feel like if he went, people would have said it was for cameras. But I think just like emotionally, he didn't want to be there. Like, clearly, he did not want to be there when they show him like on FaceTime with Melissa while she's getting her makeup done. He was like, I just don't really want to go, and I think that's when you don't go. When you really feel like you really don't want to be there and you're not welcome, you just don't go. And I think it was smart. I think it was smart for Melissa to go though, but I don't know. The whole thing's it just
it's a little bit icky.
Yeah.
Oh my god, when Jen Aiden brought the tree of life / menorah and I was cackling at this. Like Teresa's like, "'Cause I'm Trey. Get it? Get it? Yes, Teresa, we get it. We get it."
I love when she does that. Get it? Yes, we get it. We always get it. We're here too.
We're the only ones who don't need to say that we get it.
I know, but I also have to know like what was going through Jen's mind when she picked that out. Like, don't get me wrong, very nice intention. It's just like, this is what I want to give her. I don't know. It's just
it was like picture frames, right?
It was like names. It was names on the tree. I mean, maybe there was a little like, you know,
because that's what I was wondering. Like, it looks like they were handwritten on there. Which why would you keep? That would be kind of a weird thing to like have like someone's hand. I don't know. I thought it was odd.
It was like an oversized tchotchke, but whatever.
You're so right. You're so right. It was like best of intentions, though.
I know, just a little.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what though. When Danielle was talking to Teresa about Joe not coming, and I am just waiting for Bravo to go knocking on whoever her brother's door is. It is the next generation, y'all.
I don't know. Like, yes, absolutely. But I've gotten vibes that like this family doesn't like that she's like on camera at all. So I don't know if we're going to see it. Like, I don't know, but this is definitely like giving her a whole potential runway to have her own dramas.
I mean, listen, Danielle, she should have been on the show a long time ago, but I think she came in at the perfect time. This is exactly when we needed her.
And so I really like her. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Are you like really enjoying her?
I am. At first I was like, I'm not going to like her because I know she came in to be Teresa's friend. And Teresa just drives me freaking nuts sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, would you just get over yourself? So yes, I was a bit prejudiced going in. I love her. I think she's great. Because she's actually very funny.
Yes.
Naturally. Do you like her?
Yes. I mean, I'm the same way. And also like, I was just looking up her old like True Life. I'm a Staten Island girl. Yeah. And I went down like a rabbit hole and saw her whole like attempt at YouTube, which it's better that she's here. That's all I'll say.
Yes.
I think it translates way better on this kind of show than it does like on a YouTube influencer track, if you will. But
agreed.
I love her. I resonate with her. I think she's like just people I know. So it's like the way that she speaks is just, yeah, I get it. I just get it.
Mm-hmm.
I like her.
I do too. I like her. She's where she needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Now, the moment between Melissa, Gabriella, and Gia.
Oh my God.
Ooh. Ooh. That was thick. I did not know that. I'm trying to like rewind in my brain. Joe has not seen his nieces for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
That's
It's a
bad.
long time.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't love that this moment happened. I didn't love it. Once the kids get involved to a certain extent, I was fine with Gia being involved. And I'm not saying it's because I like her over anyone or anything like that. But also because Gia's an adult, you know, we're not hearing from the Gorga kids ever.
I know.
It doesn't feel fair.
Right. It doesn't feel fair. This moment you could cut with a knife. It was so uncomfortable. Yeah. It was sad. I don't think it needed to be filmed, but like I get it. It's the story, but it's just like, ugh, it felt so uncomfortable.
It was wrong. And I didn't like seeing Melissa say that. I know those girls have hate in their hearts toward them, toward the Gorgas. And I'm like, God, like it is eerily echoing exactly what Joe Gorga said in the comments to Gia when she was like, oh yeah, I find it comical you ran into my father and you happen to have a video camera. Yeah, I do agree that it was like, oh yeah, more than a little opportunistic.
Yeah.
But that sentiment is echoing pretty loudly.
Yeah.
Those were the exact words.
I felt sad. I think when Melissa said that, I mean, there's truth to that, right? Like, let's just be real. Like Gia comments on things, she says things, she's very clearly angry. I think, you know, again, semantics is a problem with this entire family. So I think instead of saying hate, could have said anger and it would have been way better.
Yeah.
But, you know, I do think to a degree, there is hate in their heart for them. I don't think she should have said it in her confessional, but whatever. But I just, I don't know. The whole thing to me is really sad. The girls, I just feel bad speaking on it. Like, it's just such a shitty situation. Like, I don't know.
It really
but she is angry. Gia is way more angry. And I think it's maybe because she's older and has seen a lot more.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. Although, and I love the editing this season too. It's fantastic because they lightened it right back up with Danielle saying that she wanted to bring some Tupperwares in her purse and I'm going to take the whole tray with me. Girl, me too. If they have some good mac and cheese, you better believe.
That was so relatable. That was so relatable. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, she's right. I would go home and probably like just dig in a little bit.
Yeah. Oh my God. Especially after a few drinks. Give me. The speech with Teresa and Louis. Okay. So Teresa's, I wanted to really like get the exact words that she said because I know this was again picked apart. And when she says during this speech, yeah, you guys are our chosen family. Everybody who came here is really special to us. So thank you for coming. We love you from the bottom of our heart. And we wouldn't want anybody else here but you guys. But then Bill Aiden, who are you? Who is this man? Because he goes, we miss you, Joe. What?
No, I mean, like, what? Listen, I saw Jen on Watch What Happens Live say, like, I thought it was funny. Like,
of course she did.
Yeah, I think Bill, like, when he's behind camera, like, fully commits to just, like, being on a show, you know? Like, and I think in this moment, he was truly just like a little sauced, right, with the alcohol. And then he goes, we miss you, Joe, because like he realizes what this is. Not a good move. I thought it was really, really stupid. And like, it's just sort of like, why did you do that? Because it didn't have to be about that. But because that was also just like looming in everybody's ear, they go back to that comment. Yeah. Chosen family, and it's blah, you know?
So My son's father is from New Jersey, so I, of course, know what a stunat is. Maybe you explain to some people that are listening, maybe in like Oklahoma or California, what a stunat is. Kind of douchey.
It's a douchey. It's a little like stupid. Yeah, it's like an Italian.
It's in the name.
It's a name. Sorry, forgive me. But yeah,
no.
This moment was stunad definition.
It is so perfect that you are using this word on a Jersey recap. Like it is, you are being true to the show and being authentic. Yep. I just know there's going to be someone that's like, what's a stunat?
I know. So you're so right.
Listen, if you don't know, now you do. It's an educational podcast now.
That's what
and I love that you used that word. It literally just gave me life. I want you to know that. Because I know plenty of people will understand what that is too. Oh God. So there's the thing of like, yes, you are so right about how semantics are so intense between, and when we are saying this family, I think that includes Melissa, Teresa, why I meant to say Louie. I started to say Julia and mixed Louie and Joe. Okay, whatever. Anyway.
You could call Joey and Louie, Julia or something. That's them.
There are just like so many of them with the same name. Like there's so many Jens now.
I know.
I'm just kind of like, I'm okay. We're gonna get through it. Too many Joes, too many Jens. Okay. Anyhow, the semantics of the chosen family choice of words. Let's play. We'll go ahead and play devil's advocate. Teresa most likely would have still said that if Joe Gorga had been there. Would they still have been upset if she said that with Joe Gorga there, do we think?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes, they would have been upset because it's personal to them and they're sensitive about it. I think, to your point, Teresa would have just said it anyway. I think she was looking around the crowd and was like, my chosen family. I think that's like real for her. I think that it would have hurt no matter what because of the situation. I really don't think that she said that on purpose, like to make Melissa feel bad I think it was more of a point at like, who's here? And I'm acknowledging that. And you know everything that's been going on. So you're my chosen family. I don't think it was like mean. I think Melissa got really upset because it's upsetting, you know?
Yeah. I think it was both. I think she knew what she was doing by saying it, and she also didn't, because here's the thing. I know a lot of people like to make it out that Teresa is just an idiot. I know a lot of people. Now, she's not an idiot. She's not what I would call necessarily wise a lot of times. But I do not think she's stupid in any capacity. I don't think you can be, I'm sure there's going to be someone I'm forgetting, but I really don't believe you can be stupid and be an excellent housewife, especially the way Teresa has been for so long. So I just want to preface that as I'm saying this, I don't think Teresa puts a lot of thought into certain things sometimes. And I think that she had maybe more of a half thought, like she knew because Joe wasn't there and she was hurt by that. I understand that she's hurt by that. I get it. But I also understand like Joe not wanting to go. Like if you don't want to just, God, but sometimes I don't know. I tend to just kind of go show up someplace for 30 minutes to an hour. It typically won't kill you. And if it's someplace like that, as long as it's not at the end of the night, no one's typically drinking enough that you're going to get into trouble, and then just say you got to go. That's the way I feel about a lot of what has gone down between these two. And something else that I'm just kind of finding odd, that both Melissa, oh my God, Caitlin is getting all tripped up on the names today, that both Teresa and Joe keep reiterating separately that they are each other's only family member. And I do understand that to a certain extent what they are saying, but they are saying that to their actual family members. They have children. Your children are your family members. Even if you don't view your spouse as your family member, which you should, you have blood related children in your house. Like you two are not each other's only family.
I
So
do
that
have
kind
an
of bothers
issue.
me. They're both
Yeah.
terrible to each other.
I have an issue with how they do speak so openly about everything in front of their kids. Maybe that's like old school, like how I was brought up, and they are too. So I'm just surprised at how much they share, and I'm sure they've had to because it's on TV. But
Yeah.
just the way that they have these conversations, and I don't see it with the Gorgos. You don't see it, but
No.
with Teresa and the girls, sometimes I'm like, oof, like, do they really need to like go in that deep? I don't know, but that's their relationship. You know, who's to say? But I just feel like sometimes I'm scratching my head with how much they share.
Yeah. They really divulge a lot.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that's not going to teach their own children to have good relationships with each other. That it's going to teach their own children to be like, oh, I guess I go ahead and I go shit talk my siblings.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
just
know
what you
what they're
do.
going to take away. And like, I think they're all good parents. Like, I think their parenting is
Yeah.
good. I just, the relationship management that they're learning from is hard. It's just hard.
They're good aside from Joe Gorga's incredibly misogynistic views for his daughter. But I mean, that's also, I know that it's a lot of part and parcel.
We could talk about.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I am going to say though that I think I like to think of myself as like some tough bitch, but I think I would have been Melissa going and crying into in the bathroom, and then I would have come out and done the exact same thing she did and said, "Oh, if my eyes are red, it's because I poked myself in the eye."
That is so
that
funny.
I would have done the same thing, and I hate that about myself.
So if I was Melissa, I would have just like literally taken a deep breath, probably gone to take a tequila shot, come back and wait
Yep.
for the moment to say something a little bit spicy. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for having me, and I was so excited to meet your chosen family tonight. Have a good night.
Oh my God,
like,
could you imagine?
that's it. Like, that's what I would do. You know, I don't know.
Ooh.
That's me.
Oh my God, maybe they just need to bring you on.
I
Girl, that
know,
would have been, oh, I would have loved.
manifestation, please.
Yes.
I'm not aspirational enough to be a housewife, but I appreciate that.
Oh my God, please. I'm not. I was going to say something that might be unkind to some of the women we have seen on Housewives. Believe me, you are.
I'm with you. I know.
How to compliment without putting someone else down in the process. So, excuse me as I'm hitting things over here, but I'm going to say I believe you could absolutely be.
Thank you so much. The bar is.
You don't
real
live
low,
in a
guys.
casita.
Oh
No,
yeah, my
no.
casita. Oh God.
Yeah. Okay. So, so Melissa, I guess she went, well, I haven't done enough at this party because she has been a housewife for many years. She knows how to play it.
Mm-hmm.
And when she goes up to Jackie, and here's another thing, this season is really tearing me up and my loyalty to specific women. I am not going to lie to you. I have always been a Jackie fan. Always.
Okay.
I always have thought that she was so typically well-spoken, and some of her zingers to Teresa have literally sent me into the stratosphere, and I've loved them. But oh my God,
yeah,
she's having a hard time being a friend of, and you know what? It's working. It's doing wonders, because Melissa going over to Jackie and saying, yeah, so I told Danielle the other day about what you said about her shorts.
I was like, girl, oh my God. She's protecting herself, but
yeah, which fair. That's the thing too. Like, I appreciate that she was going ahead and telling her, look, I did something a little messy. Here's what happened. I have a problem with Jackie saying that Danielle is a horrible dresser. I believe were her almost exact words.
Yeah.
We don't watch New Jersey for the fashions, babes. Melissa, you may own a boutique, and I think Melissa dresses cute a lot of the time. I don't think any of them really dress terribly at all. I think they all they don't dress like the Beverly Hills ladies. They don't dress like, you know, Atlanta. The fashion on Atlanta, I think, is fantastic.
No,
okay,
Jersey's like mainstream America, guys, with a little bit of glam, you know?
Yes.
Let's just call it what it is. And I think a lot of people dress that way. that
Yeah,
I know.
it's not New York either. And I don't even feel like most of the New York ladies dressed that well. I feel like Dorinda was, I know this is controversial, but I know even Isaac Mizrahi said Dorinda was one of the best dressed housewives, and I
That
have
shook
always
me
found
when
her
I
to be.
saw that. Oh my God. That's so funny that you said that because when I heard that, I'm like, Dorinda, really? Okay.
Yeah, her wealth whispers with her outfits to me, and I'm like,
Mm,
she's not a Dorit. She's
no,
not
no, no, no. Dorit's
Louis
everyone.
Vuitton head to toe.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if I were on TV that much, I would be like, and I had that money, y'all find someone who follows La Roche or something and get you a stylist.
Yep.
Um, anyhow, see, this is why I need notes, y'all.
No, the shorts. They like
Yes,
the
thank you.
comment on the shorts was like hysterical too.
The outfit wasn't horrible, but have we not seen Melissa wear like that exact same outfit multiple times? And I feel like I've seen Jackie in that outfit.
I mean, it's white shorts and like a white tank
They
top.
weren't wrinkled to me.
I mean, they maybe, but like shorts wrinkle. It was just ridiculous. Like I don't
She
know.
sat
I
down
was
at
like,
some
come
point.
on. It was mean girl vibes, and I'm like, okay, Jackie, like you gotta take accountability.
Yeah.
That was bitchy. Own it.
It was. Yeah. Because listen, and this is where Danielle is continuing to show us, girl, you are going to have staying power if you so choose. Because
Mhm.
she's like, first of all, I hear my name.
Yes.
Yes, she did. Now this, I know you made a video about this, and I'm going to, I want to hear, I want you to talk about this. When Jackie says, first of all, could you get your hands out of my face? Thanks. And when she says that to Danielle, as she's like talking with her hands, I'm a hand
Mhm.
talker as well. And I am not
Mhm.
from the East Coast. I don't know if I've been around so many people from, I have a lot of dear friends that are East Coast, and
Mhm.
for some reason, I feel some sort of kindred spirit with East Coasters, and I have no reason on this planet to. I have none. I have no reason. Maybe it's just like, I love y'all. I don't know. But Danielle's talking with her hands, and
Mhm.
your explanation of this was beautiful. Please
Yes.
give us the
I mean, oh my
explanation on
God,
this.
I'm like boiling at the bit. Okay, guys, this
Yes.
is so ridiculous. Anyone, and I'm speaking on behalf of myself, but I think it's a very shared opinion that any Italian American from the tri-state area, meaning New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and also our friends, our Jewish friends, we talk with
Yeah.
our hands. We emote with our hands. I'm literally talking with my hands like this whole podcast. It's how I speak.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, Danielle was not in her face at all. If she wanted in her face, she would have been like forward and a little bit more aggressive. She was just like talking like this. I
Yeah.
mean, you can't see me right now, but imagine it's just like within my space. So ridiculous. Like, this is so normal. Also, Jackie is Jewish. So, like, what are you talking about? Like, you've seen this all the time. Like, it's just crazy. Like, it was so, like, I just didn't understand. It was clearly Jackie got caught up and, like, didn't know what to come back at
Yeah.
her with. And this is, like, all she could say. And I love Danielle for just being like, this is how I talk. I like, what do you want? Like, this is it. I
Yeah.
could not, like, this is going to go down, I think. And you, like, in the moment, I bet you, Jackie, never thought that this was going to be the thing that was like the nail in the coffin. But I think this might be a nail in the coffin moment. Like, Danielle just came out winning just by like
Yes.
being herself, not being mean towards her. And Jackie just looks like an a-hole, you know?
Yeah, for like
I'm
criticizing
heated, I'm
her
coming down
clothes.
from that now. Thank you for letting
Yeah,
me speak on that.
she's breathing again, guys.
Yes.
Yeah, because and something you said in the video that you posted on TikTok was that putting my hands up and talking, and she was in her own bubble of space. That's turning up the volume.
Yes.
Instead of raising my voice louder, this is me
Mhm.
turning up my volume without yelling at you. And you know what? I loved that because that is so true. That's
It's so
exactly what
true.
she was
That's how it
doing.
is. Mhm.
Yeah, I mean,
she was getting more passionate. She was using her hands, but she's not yelling at you. It's
no.
just how we do it. I don't know. It's just how, I mean, some of us do get very loud, but
Oh yeah,
we generally take in social cues and know not to be yelling. But that whole
right.
thing was like, come on, Jackie. Like, you lost so many points, and I feel bad
She
for
did.
her, but she did it.
Yeah, she did. I mean, sorry. Because also Jackie was like, what is that, a threat? no, she's not. Danielle's not threatening you, honey.
It's like,
she's not even in your face.
If I was threatening you, I loved that. I'm like, amen. Amen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You would know if a girl from Staten Island. For sure. She would literally threaten you. Oh my God. Now I want to know when Danielle was like, I'm not telling you where those shorts were from. Like she said she was going to take that secret to her grave. Danielle, where are they from? Are they from Posh? Is that where they're from?
Forever 21. I think they're Forever 21. Or like something like so, like Forever 21. Yeah. We all just know what it means. Yeah. It's not like
Shein.
You know? Yeah. Oh God, Shein. Yes.
I want to know, Danielle. Tell me.
We'll get her to tell us one day. We'll manifest that answer. That's so funny.
Yes, we will. All about manifesting over here. Okay, so then this is when everything with Jen Aydin starts, because Jen Fessler, I guess, had. Okay, so the argument's starting where Margaret goes up to Jen Aydin and is like, so I heard you spoke about me and I want to know what the deal is. Like, are you ever going to let anything go? Are you ever going to move forward? And Jen Aydin says, well, no, I was telling Jen Fessler, I was asking her for a referral to a marriage counselor, which that is a fantastic idea. Number one. Number two, she then says, I was telling her that I didn't think that the whole entire reason why you brought up everything that happened with Bill and the affair was because you thought I was being a hypocrite. I disagree. I think Margaret brought it up because Jen really went so hard on her and just, Margaret, her marriage stemmed from an affair. What can you say? She has been very upfront about it. She hasn't tried to hide it. And yes, she's made jokes and made light of it. What are you going to do? Have a heavy moment every single time for the rest of your life? Like, what does she want from her on that? And then it was the semantics of what was specifically said. Was it jealous or was it threatened? And Jen Aydin says, I didn't tell Jen Fessler that I was jealous of you. I told her that you were threatened. But I'm sorry. Let me back that up. Jen Aydin said, I didn't tell Jen Fessler that you were jealous of me in regards to Margaret. I told Jen Fessler that you were threatened by me. First of all, I'm threatened by Jennifer Aydin and I don't even know her. She scares the living shit out of me. She can be so mean and scary sometimes.
She definitely can be mean. I'm not. Marge being threatened by Jen Aydin, come on. No, she's not. Come on. No, they're two very different people in a lot of different ways. I just no. Just no. That's all.
No. No. Yeah. Big N-O.
Yeah. No.
And then here comes Rachel Fuda, which, oh my God, Jen Aydin, girl, you are the last person to be talking shit on anyone's nose job. And you basically said as much that you were the last person to be talking about anyone's nose job, going on Watch What Happens Live and calling her a real life fucked up Tim Burton character.
That's so mean. That is so that's where I get that's gross. Why are you doing that? It was just not nice.
No, I agree. Because, she's then saying, oh, so Rachel Fuda jumps in and she's like, well, you called me to talk shit about Dolores. And Dolores went, what?
I know. That was so amazing though. It was teeing up and boom. I don't know. It just was a perfect moment.
Yes, it was just that ping. So, and eventually, Rachel and Jen are full on screaming and arguing at each other. And Jen calls Rachel a fucking idiot. Girl, that's where Jen goes whenever she feels like she doesn't have a good argument, because she does get ganged up on, but she puts herself in those situations. I'm sorry, she can't play the victim here. She really just backed her own self into that corner, and calling her a fucking idiot was not really the best.
No,
you can do better than that, Jen Aydin. We've heard you do better than that.
No, I just she has to get it together. But this goes back to the validation. All of this stuff happened because I think she's just trying to get people to validate her feelings.
Yes.
And it's just kicking her in the ass because she's doing it the wrong way. I feel for her, but she needs to help herself, a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish she would, because that's that set off the whole chain of events. And I'm so sorry, but I did actually cackle and laugh out loud when Jen said, well, I called her about her terrible nose job because I was talking to her about my terrible nose job. And I'm like, Jen, Jesus.
She doesn't have a filter. Like, there is no filter with Jennifer Aiden.
None whatsoever. And, you know, Teresa jumps in to say that Jen would never tell anyone to take sides. Like, what?
Sometimes I feel like Teresa's speaking and I'm like, who is the wizard behind the, like, I'm like, what are you, what? Like, Teresa, like, respectfully, like, nobody asked. And like, just don't. Like, it doesn't make sense. What are you saying? Because it's literally, you're talking about the most obvious person that would ever take sides, ever. It just was like,
yes.
What?
It was like, she comes over to have her back, and it's like, no, don't do it that way, Teresa.
No,
don't.
It's like, Teresa, like, come on.
Because
and you know what?
She did call to do that.
Trying, because I think feedback that Teresa gets as a friend is that, like, she doesn't stick up for people, but she expects it so I think this was her attempt at, like, doing that, and it was just like,
she needs to do it for Dolores more.
I know.
If you want my opinion.
Dolores, I know.
Yes. She's a gem. And then Jen just keeps carrying on shit when Rachel's like, I'm leaving. It should have ended there. Truly. Yeah, and Jen says, don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. And Rachel, as we've seen in so many previews, there is no door, asshole. And you know what? Good for you.
And then having her husband, John, like, close the episode, like, being like, you want to go back, you want to check her, which is like everything Jen wanted. So I thought that was so, like, good on the editors for, like, throwing that in, because it was like a nice circle story ending. Like, that's what she wants, and she's like fighting something that is what she wants. It's just sad.
It is. And Bill was nowhere to be found.
Well, he was sauced, probably, like, taking shots and, doing his thing.
And
which, by the way, wouldn't you? And this is something I've said. It's a hot take, but, like, you know how people have what's it called? Their, like, hall pass.
Yeah.
Instead of a hall pass, like, sexually, I would love to be taken out on, like, a weekend trip to Vegas with that whole group of men. I don't know why we spend so much time with them. You scared me for a second
about where you were going.
No. I know. I got you. Don't worry. I saw your eyes. I was like, girl, no, don't worry. I'm not going, like, sideways on you. I want that so badly. I think that Bravo needs to create a, like, giveaway something where they give viewers a trip to Vegas with these men. I don't know why we see them so much on our screens. Don't hate it, but, like, why? But yes, I just wanted to add that in.
The fear in my eyes, y'all, when I thought she was about to say Bill Aiden was her hall pass, I was like, of all the men on Bravo, not that I don't find a lot of the men on Bravo overly attractive. It just, their wives are stunning, and that's, that's whatever. But no, that would be a lot of fun to go with them. I feel like there would only be specific wives. I think Melissa, when she drinks, she's a lot of fun. She seems like she is so much fun to be around. Like, she's just like a fun drunk. Like, there are some people who are not fun drunks. We all know them. And I think she is one that would be a lot of fun. I don't feel like the women drink that to like a heavy extent typically on Jersey. And from what I understand, Jen Aiden really didn't drink much at all during this season. So yeah. So
I feel so bad for her with that edit. Like, the edit of her, like, come on, guys. Like, that's so embarrassing. And they just, like, keep reminding us all that she blacked out. It's like, that's
we're aware.
Watch it.
They're never going to let us forget it. Yeah. Never going to let us forget it. Well, friends, I think we're going to wrap there, but I do want to say, keep an eye out. I don't know how much information can be divulged, but Alix will be having her own podcast coming soon.
Yes.
So keep an eye out. Go hop on to all the social media channels and go follow her. See what's up with her. Trust me, it's a very exciting podcast that she's got in the works, and I'm really excited to see.
You'll be on. I'm so excited.
Gladly. Anytime. And would love to have you back on. I had so much fun like chatting with you.
I know. It's really
so
fun
glad
when
we
you
got to
do
do it.
this with someone who you just it works. You know, guys, and
Yeah.
you can pick it up when you're listening. It just works.
Totally.
And this was so much fun, and I would love to come back and obviously
Good.
talk about Jersey and, you know, give people education on our language.
On what a stunat is.
Yes. I'll come back with a new one next time.
Please do.
Mhm.
We'll have a word of the episode.
Word of the podcast. Yeah.
I would love that. And again, you can find Alix on TikTok, on Instagram. It is underscore. It's at underscore ALIXCROSS. So be sure and go follow her and keep an eye out for that podcast of hers. And please submit a review. We like 5 stars here, but I'll take 4 and above. That's fine.
No, 5 only. 5, guys.
I know, yeah, 5. I that's what everyone says. They're like, no, don't tell him 4.
Yeah, come on, no.
Please.
Put the energy out there.
5.
5.
Okay,
Awesome.
5, and that's it. I won't take anything less. All right, friends. I'm gonna try and do another podcast this week. Y'all, the content is just whew. I am going to do like a full episode on all the part 1, 2, and 3 of Potomac here pretty soon, and maybe have some guests on for that. But either way, thank you so much for joining, Alix, and thanks, friends, for joining us, and I will see you all soon. Bye.